Hello, future math for elementary school teachers. I'm Gary Parker. I'm going to show you some tips on using GeoGebra. So geogebra.org is the place to go. GeoGebra, you can just search for it, pretty easy to find. They have their main graphing app, which has a lot of different options. Today, I'm going to use their geometry version, which just shows some of the options that are common to do geometry. I have a bunch of other ones you can play with here too. So the new geometry app has a simplified toolbar where you have your pointer to move stuff around. You can make points, line segments, lines, polygons, and circles with a center and some point on the edge of the circle. More gives more options for each of these and other stuff. So there are some other construction tools like finding the midpoint, perpendicular bisector, perpendicular line, perpendicular bisector, parallel line, what's this sucker? Angle bisector, pretty cool, and the tangent tool. And there's tons of them. If you point to them, it tells you what it does. Measures an angle, creates an angle of a given size, measures length, measures area. Okay. Tons of options down here, and there's even more options. So GeoGebra has been evolving for a long time. So I'm going to demonstrate the Polygon tool. So the simple Polygon tool is you just start clicking points, creating a polygon to your liking. To finish the polygon, click on the point that you started with. So here's my polygon. If I want to measure things on my polygon, I can do things like grab the angle tool. And to measure something, the central point of the angle has to be in the middle of 3 points that you click on. So here, if I click D, E, A, then it will measure that angle E for me here. Sometimes things get put on the screen and they overlap each other, so you can click the arrow tool, the move tool, to adjust things, move them around wherever you like. There's usually a limit to how far you can move things so that E is stuck in this kind of circular area around its point, which is a good thing. Line segment length. A couple of ways to do that. I can click on a line segment and I'll say, hey, that thing's 4. Or I can click between 2 points and I'll say the distance from this point to that point is 4.1. Oops, I must have clicked on E first. All right, so it's saying DE is 4.1. Even if a line segment doesn't exist, you can still use the measure tool to say how far is it from D to B. Why are you doing that to me? Let's try again. B to D. There we go. So even though the line segment isn't drawn in, the tool can still measure. Here it's giving it to the nearest tenth. I can change the settings. And somewhere here, settings, I can ask it to show me more decimal places. So sometimes we need more accuracy. So another tool related to this is, with the mouse wheel, zoom in and out. Whoa, pretty cool. Move tool, I can move the screen around. Or I can move some objects on the screen. Not every object is movable, but many are. So I can make this into a concave pentagon or a convex pentagon. All right, let's see some other cool tools. So more on polygons. There's the regular polygon tool. Then there is the there's the polygon tool and the regular polygon tool. There we go. That's what I meant to say. So let's move this out of the way a little bit. I have a little room to work. Go back and switch tools. And so here, the way it works is I choose a line segment to start with, and it says, oh, you want a regular polygon? Okay, how many sides do you want? So I could go for 5 sides and choose OK. And then it'll generate enough points to make whatever polygon I asked for. So I could make them closer together. And I could say, give me an octagon, 8 vertices, and it makes that octagon. Cool thing about this right here, a couple cool things. I switch back to the point tool. I can enlarge by taking that original pair of points or contract that, and I can change the orientation. And then the other points don't do anything. And if I click in the middle, I can move the whole sucker around. So it takes some getting used to. What can you click on and make stuff happen? And so you just kind of play around. Furthermore, back to the angle measuring tool, instead of just finding one angle at a time by going point, middle, point, I can click inside of the polygon and it will measure every angle all at once, which is kind of nice. So if it's regular, I expect it to be equiangular. If it's irregular, I would expect to have different ones. So if I just make some random triangle, like that one right there, and I click measure me some angles, wha-bang, there's my angles. And again, if they're in the way, you can move them. And then sometimes the size of the font doesn't work for me, so I can change that, making it bigger or smaller. Is this exactly 90? I don't think so. Usually when something's exactly 90, GeoGebra draws a right angle for you instead of a curve for the angle. So let's change some settings. I want a bigger font. Let's try 24. So sometimes I might be making something for a handout, or for certain students, I just want a bigger font, or on days I forget my glasses. So that's a little bit of fun with the basics of GeoGebra. I hope you enjoy it. It's one of my favorite programs ever. Take care. Do good math.